All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome on back to the Cinema Lords podcast. Got a two-part review tonight. Couple of comic book shows. Back to my favorite shit, my roots. Joined again, as we have for the last couple of episodes. Seth, Luke, boys, how we doing? How we feeling?
Good evening. What's going on?
Doing well. Good to be back.
Yeah, we've been fucking burning through fucking shows one after the other. So a lot of watching. We're going to be doing, like I said, two-part review mid-season because both of them kind of started at the same time. We're going to be doing Agatha first and then Penguin second. We've talked a little bit about Agatha on this show already. I think I've kind of said it's the least excited I've ever been for a Marvel project, like quite literally ever. I didn't even really get why such a side character was going to be getting her own series, especially when there's been so many series like hinted at by Marvel that have fallen through, like Don Cheadle's Armor Wars show, for instance. Like a character who's been present on screen, like he was actually a big part of Endgame when you actually he was one of the people that's made the blip, and he was a big character in that. But he's obviously been in the Iron Man movies. His show,
should be a show too,
right? His show fell through. There was another one, I feel like that was like a bigger name that fell through.
Well, I mean, Thunderbolts was supposed to be a show.
Was it supposed to be a show?
Yeah, Thunderbolts was supposed to be a TV show, and then they switched it to a movie.
I did not know that.
Which I'm kind of glad they did, based off seeing the trailers and all that.
Yeah, I think it works better. I'd rather have 2.5 hours as opposed to them for 8 hours of episode 1 hours.
Yep,
for sure.
The first half of the season is recruiting everybody.
Exactly. Yeah. By the time things are rolling, it's a good call. Definitely plays better as a movie. I swear there was another one, though. But either way, I was shocked that Agatha Harkness, a side character from WandaVision, was going to get her own show. I don't know about you guys. I was actually, pleasantly surprised.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, at least I feel like I know what the end result is going to be. But it's not... there's enough there that's I'm not just waiting for the end result. I'm not just all right, man, just let me get to what I think is going to happen. I think the rest of the whole episodes are they're dragging me along enough to keep me interested.
Well, by all means, where do you think this ends?
Wanda's coming back.
Well, that's for sure. But you think it's going to be in this?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, this is how this show is how Wanda comes back.
That'd be pretty sick.
I don't know if it's going to be, I guess we'll get into it, but
out of defense.
But it's not like I said, I kind of felt that going into it, but it wasn't I'm watching it and I'm not just all right, let me just get to the finale where she comes back.
Right, the journey.
I'm interested enough in the episodes that they're dragging me along. It's also a prime example of you just go into everything with low expectations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It would have been very hard for this show to be worse than our expectations were going into it because they were quite literally at the absolute bottom. So yeah. Suppose you have a good point there.
Secret Invasion before it. You know what I mean?
I had hopes for Secret Invasion.
Right. But it's a prime example. You had hopes for it. And it was dog shit. So this is
dog shit.
You give this show a C minus, a C, and you're pleased by it.
Significantly better than fucking Secret Invasion. I'm enjoying this a lot. I'm enjoying this more than a few projects. Me and you talked about it, but if I had to watch, I don't think I'm ever gonna watch the Marvels ever again. But this has been, to me at least, far more enjoyable. At least I'm laughing occasionally at this, and I'm all right, that was fucking fun. That was cool, whatever. The Marvels was fucking brutal. Oh, fucking brutal.
Nothing, yeah.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion was really bad. Oh, give me fucking... We're only 5 episodes in. Give me this over Echo fucking any day of the week. Echo stunk.
Yeah, I can agree with that, too.
Echo stunk. At least this... All right, so actually...
What about She-Hulk?
We're not... I like...
to be this.
I like She-Hulk more than a lot of people did. When I say I liked it more, though, that insinuates that I did like it. Mm-hmm. She-Hulk is in spurts enjoyable. If you're not trying to watch a full-blown Marvel project and you want to just kind of have something dumb on, I think She-Hulk plays almost like a sitcom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a comic book sitcom almost. I've already gone back and watched She-Hulk, but I'll have it on when I'm doing shit. I'll be fucking doing laundry or I'm cleaning shit up in the kitchen. And I'll put it on because every episode does have a few little jokes or little things sprinkled in. For almost every episode, you're even if the episode overall stunk, it was, you know what I mean? You have the Hulk, you have the Abomination, you have Wong, you have Madison with 2 Ys, but not what you think it is.
Yeah.
fucking
Daredevil.
You have Daredevil.
Yeah,
like
right.
you have a bunch of like cool
Hulk's
little
son
things.
at the end,
yeah,
right.
There's always the I don't even actually think it's up to debate. The She-Hulk finale was awesome. I thought the finale for She-Hulk was awesome.
Yeah, she's like
She
breaking
didn't
through
break
the main screen. and all
Yeah,
that,
she
the fourth
broke
wall.
fucking the 18th wall. Whatever the last wall is, she smashed through it. It was great.
That shows-
Kevin is a robot.
Yeah,
That show's problem was
Yeah, he
more
had the hat on.
like that show's problem was more so like Disney's corniness than it was She-Hulk's corniness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like Disney throwing in those stupid ass corny things of like her twerking with fucking
So-
Megan Thee Stallion.
I have quite literally yelled at people
That's so
on
corny,
Twitter
dude.
for that so many times. I'm like, you literally take this 3-second thing that I remind you is a post-credit scene for an episode of television.
Right.
It could not be more irrelevant or meaningless in the world. She has Megan Thee Stallion on for an episode. They twerk together, and people are like, fucking Marvel, dude, the MCU is over! Fucking woke city! It's like, bro, if you would have just turned the show off when the credits started, you wouldn't even have seen this, and you wouldn't even be talking about it.
Yeah,
It wasn't a part of the episode.
it's true.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know, though. I would have to see how this ends, but I feel like this is on a path for me where it's going to be close to She-Hulk.
Yeah, especially if we get Wanda back at the end.
That would be big.
I think it's got to be right.
would be
I'm
big.
surprised that's not.
So I saw one thing that led me to think that might happen too. It was an interview that Elizabeth Olsen did, and she's like, they asked her if she thinks she'll be back. She's like, well, I think I'm just got to see what happens. Seems pretty dead from the way that WandaVision ended, and but there was that flash of red light in the tower,
Right.
And like so she like brings that up, and she's like, yeah, I don't know, maybe it means something, maybe it doesn't.
There's also this thing called like the press, and we know that she signed like a massive deal like right before fucking Multiverse of Madness.
Yep.
She just signed a deal to die off. In
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Just like signed a fat fucking deal because she's gonna be a huge part of things for the next like I don't know 3-4 years.
Yep.
I could see her story being wrapped with like the end of this. Although
she's at the end of the road, right? It's her at the end of the road, at the end of the Witch's Road.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
It's her at the end of the
I
road.
pick up what you're putting down now. But that means they're gonna have to be on this Witch's Road still for another because this was.
Well, yeah, because
episode 5,
everybody has
so
their
there's, like 9 episodes.
Everybody has their trials, right? There's only been
Well, Alice is dead now, though.
3 trials.
This was the 3rd trial. Well, I'm sorry, not this. So we see the first trial is episode 3, then episode 4, and then episode 5. That's when the trials start.
Not
But-
including Kitty.
Yeah.
Dude, we're gonna get to her because I have some thoughts there. But we see 3 trials, but then Alice dies at the end of the last like trial 3. So that's one we don't have to do. So we did Alice, we did Agatha, and who was the first one? Jen. First one was Jen. Yeah. First one was Jen.
And there's still a major, like, not just Wanda, but like a major Marvel character that's lurking around that they've been hinting at a bunch of times too.
Mephisto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had to come in there.
Yeah, which I don't want to get too outside the box here, but anytime something happens in Fortnite, it usually comes to fruition like very shortly after. And Mephisto is a part of the ongoing thing with Fortnite right now, and is a vital character. Yeah, yeah, which is very, very interesting to me.
Yep.
Very. But yeah, that was the whole thing during like almost all of WandaVision was the is this Mephisto? Is this Mephisto? Is this Mephisto?
Yeah.
It gets actually mentioned.
Yeah.
Jen when she's telling Wiccan about Agatha turning her son in for the Book of the Damned.
Yeah.
Which is just like a book that we've never heard of, right? It's different from the Darkhold. Because they call the Darkhold
Yeah,
the
I
Darkhold.
believe so. Yep.
So there's no way that just all of a sudden calling it by a different name.
Yep.
Which would make sense because I think isn't Agatha like searching for the Darkhold in WandaVision, or am I mixing that up?
I think she has it in the basement, right?
She has it already.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
That's how she's kind of trapped Wanda there.
Yeah.
All right.
By taking her kids and kind of luring her in.
Okay, so yeah, I knew the Darkhold came into play in WandaVision. I couldn't remember the specifics. I haven't seen WandaVision in a little while. But we obviously see what happened to the Darkhold at the end of Multiverse of Madness. Poof,
Yep.
poof. So yeah, she traded in her own son for the Book of the Damned. That's pretty fucking harsh. But that's when she mentions Mephisto. They're like, we don't know what happened to her kid. Could be dead, could be alive, could be an agent of Mephisto.
Yeah, I think they say like she could be right or he could be right in front of her and
Wouldn't even know.
and she wouldn't even know.
Yeah. Which, so I got to be honest, that was one of those things that was too on the nose. Like they very much hinted like, we don't know who her kid is. This kid doesn't know his name every time he talks. Like, da-da-da-da. And I was just like, this is not, like, it's not. If this is Agatha's son, then this is bad writing.
Yeah.
This is just poor, lazy writing.
Yeah.
Which obviously it turns out not to be. I was on it being Wiccan from like episode 2.
Yeah. And there were other things I saw too, like you know, every time he talks, he has I can't think of the name, but the thing that goes over his mouth.
Yeah, it's like a
sigil.
Sigil.
He
literally looks like his mouth is being sewn shut.
Right, and if you pause it enough, it has like that, like an M, like almost like Wanda's initials going across it.
No shit.
When you pause it. So they were saying
See,
like that was
to
another
me,
early hint, or like
could be
it
wrong.
Could be an M from Mephisto.
Right.
That one seems like a little bit of like a stretch. I guess they could have just gone straight across. I guess like stitches, but like I don't know. Maybe you're. I'm not saying. I hear you. I'm with
still
you.
Frame if you still frame it. It is far fetched.
Is it like a WM maybe or just an M?
Definitely an M, but almost like the W's like kind of mixed in with the M. I don't know how to explain it, but
I hear you.
You gotta like pause it at the right, the perfect frame. But
Yeah. I'm not going to go through every episode, but I do feel like it's important to mention some things from each episode. So, like, for instance, we were talking about how we went into the show with wildly, wildly low expectations. And I watched the first episode, and I was like, wow, like, this show is going to be just as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I did agree.
I thought that first episode
Why was it so corny?
Fucking awful. So, that's, like, part of the thing I was going to ask you guys. Like, that was intentionally bad,
I don't think so. I think it like
the show part, like the Mayor of Easttown stuff.
Her acting and stuff.
Agnes of
like,
Westview.
Yeah,
they changed it from Agatha to Agnes.
I don't know. I think they wanted it to be like
it's
confusing to
it's
the
one
viewer.
of Wanda's TV shows, which is like the whole thing in WandaVision. She keeps putting on these different sitcoms.
Right.
So to me, this was just like a detective show, but still like like what you get on fucking CBS or whatever, NCIS, Las Vegas.
And she's saying the generic detective.
That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, I think it was interesting too, like because all of Wanda's shows are like comfort shows.
Yes,
and then this is like a death, sad, murder, lonely person show, and so it's more like I don't know if it's one of Wanda's shows or if it's one of Agnes's or Agatha's shows. I don't know.
So I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
I like the idea though that. So, like, I mean, like, Wanda's character is fucking got a lot of layers to it. Like, a lot of fucking death, sadness. So, I kind of like the idea that, like, say, like, in WandaVision, it was focused on, like, the good, the happy, the love.
Like the I Love Lucy.
But there is still, like, that underlying layer that's creating other
buried
fucking
in there.
TV shows. Yeah. Like, I can't think of the name. She was like in the 2 Thor movies. She was in WandaVision. She's got humongous titties. She's got glasses on.
Yeah, she's the
Kat Dennings. Is that her name?
Yeah, Kat Dennings.
There you go. She's able to huge kids.
very talented.
She's able to like use the old school television to like get you know what I'm talking about in WandaVision.
Yeah.
She's able to like get the channel through.
Yeah.
Maybe there were like other channels she could have gotten to if she like kept spinning that dial, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Maybe there was a detective show.
This is
Maybe
after she has the Dark Soul the book. You know what I mean?
Well, she
So
blows.
now it's
I mean, I guess
kinda
she
heals
blows up
someone.
Westview basically.
Yeah.
The idea of Westview, not so much the actual town.
Right.
but-
right, because it's still all the same people living in this Mayor of Easttown thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Which would that was kind of funny. Like in the first episode is when she like we get introduced to Aubrey Plaza, which she apparently knew the whole time. She probably just wasn't in Westview, but she's the one that kind of pulls the veil off. And there's that scene where she's like naked and she runs outside and she talks to the neighbor and she mentions Wanda and he's just like, we don't say that name anymore.
And for some reason,
I thought that was funny.
For some reason, like Agatha doesn't know the neighbor's name the entire time.
Kitty?
Like, yeah, I think Sharon. Is
Yeah.
But like, she doesn't remember her name the
Yeah,
entire
Miss
time.
Hart or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah. That fucking part was actually funny too when she goes to invite her over to the party. That was like the beginning. So the first episode, she's not like Agatha yet because she is coming out to it. Like, but then like the second and third episode, she really kind of finds her footing as far as what we saw from in WandaVision. And when she goes and invites her to the party, and she's like, Kitty's kind of starts like dragging on. He's like, "You in or out, Hart?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh yeah, like where?" Like the character was enjoyable in WandaVision. That wasn't the problem. It was just that it was
It's
like
her getting her own spinoff. That was the problem.
right, exactly. Like I said, we got introduced to Aubrey Plaza's character, which seemed interesting. We didn't get the full view of her though, because we're gonna get that in the future episodes, and she's a fucking crazy bitch.
Yeah, I'll take the full view.
Wouldn't mind the full view.
Pun not intended, but all right, I played.
But so yeah, I feel like it's either her or it's Wiccan that's bringing back Wanda in some capacity.
Maybe that's what Wiccan's on the road for. He needs the power to bring back Wanda.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that. So this is why we do these things.
I was gonna say that's new to me too. That just came into my brain just now. So there you go. That's on you guys. Let's see. I think that was pretty much all I had from episode 1. That was big, at least. That was like, we also got that mention of the Salem 7.
Except for the next
Good
2
name.
days afterwards, you were just down the road. Just at least for the next 2 days.
Salem 7. Good name.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
name. Yeah. Good fucking name. Second episode. I like this because I like when this shit happens. We talked about the Lord of the Rings recently. I always say Fellowship's my favorite. I like when teams come together. I like that I like that shit.
Yep.
Kind of like you said with the Thunderbolts, I wouldn't want it for 4 episodes, but like a nice 20 minutes. Like this basically was 20, 30 minutes. This is good.
Yeah,
I like
now.
this.
I want it
Recruiting
now.
people. Yeah. She goes around. I remember like it was like we need a potions bitch. We need like a fucking protection bitch.
Yeah.
I love it. I was like, this is cool. We just put together a little squad. They're all kooky in their own ways.
Yeah, and cool seeing these witches hiding in their like modern lives.
Everyday life.
Yes.
Got like the skin care lady and
It's almost like Men in Black, kind of like when they go to get
Yes.
aliens and they're like, come on, man. Like we know.
like the pawn shop guy.
Yeah, like come on, like we know who you are. Like,
Yes. No, that's a very good call. Men in Black is spot on. We're recruiting all these bitches so that we can walk the road, which is something that Wiccan brought up. Right away, we find out that Agatha's walked the road before, and just knowing the character, and we're going to get more of this as the show goes on, I don't think this bitch has ever been here before in her life. Like, we're obviously going to end up on the road. I don't think Agatha's...
seem it.
I don't think so.
she's not acting like it.
No, every time there's like a question brought upon her, it's not like answered straightforward. Like it's always like a little, there's some riddle, not a riddle, but like a little mist. You know what I mean? Like it's not straightforward.
Yeah, she's definitely not acting like she knows the way down the road or whatever. Or even when Kitty goes in the quicksand or whatever, like she doesn't even know what to do in that situation.
Right.
Basically
That's-
any
yep,
situation.
good call,
You know what
good
I mean?
call.
Like when they're doing the first trial with the wine or whatever. Right. She has no idea. She has no idea how to do that.
That's true, but that's tough. She does know enough though not to drink.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe there's a chance she has walked it, but she's still regaining her memories the same way she doesn't know who her son is or something. Like she knows she's been there.
Still
but
coming
she's
out of
still-
the Westview trance.
I don't know. That's the kind of vibe I got. She's still kind of out of it and
Okay.
regaining
It's like
her.
a Gandalf kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
I have no memory of this place.
They did call me that once. Yeah.
Oh, it's this
I
way.
am Gandalf White.
No, it's this way.
Gandalf. That is what they call me.
I think we find out a big thing about Agatha that I don't think we learned in WandaVision, which is she can only steal powers if the witch like attacks her first.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say because she wants to bang Aubrey Plaza. But yeah, no,
That's another thing too.
yeah, I wasn't aware of that either.
Like we get that that flashback scene to Salem in WandaVision where she like fucking wipes out her mom's entire fucking coven. Which granted they are tying her to a stake to burn her. So
Right.
can't really get all that mad at her
Salem witch
for,
trial stuff.
for real. And it's her mother, so you can't blame her too much. But I that was the only real like time we saw that. Like Wanda attacked her. Is it only because she's the Scarlet Witch that she's able to like not have her powers taken by? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, unless she's in the what's the thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just automatic. You attack me, you lose your powers. You know, she's still got.
You're right. Yeah, that's a good call.
She's got to still. That just maybe is the prerequisite for being able to take that next step of to claim the powers.
I was gonna say because that's like one part in the finale where fucking Wanda literally just fucking like slams her into the fucking ground. Dude.
Yeah.
But I thought this second episode was a lot that like
Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah. And
Like-
I think they pumped out the first 2 the
Together.
same week, right?
Yeah, which was they did.
So it was like I watched the first one. I was like, yeah, that one is about as bad as I thought that was gonna go. But then you could immediately watch the second one, so you were like, okay, like you get a little momentum going into
Absolutely
it,
right.
you know. So at least they, you know, I don't know if they felt the same way, and that's why they did them both. But you definitely, it's a good thing you're able to watch back to back.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely
Like,
right.
all right, like. Because I was very close to if the second one was as bad as the first one, just being like,
Yo, sorry,
I'm
not
out,
doing
I'm
this.
out. Yeah, I'm
Well,
out,
actually,
dog.
did you ever watch the Secret Invasion finale? Didn't you say?
No,
you
I
didn't
got
even watch
to
the
like
finale?
episode 5, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just watched a quick fucking TikTok or something that recapped, and I was
One
like,
of
yeah,
the
I'm glad
worst CGI nightmares I've ever seen in my entire life. And I love Amelia Clark. Like, and I was just watching her, and I was like,
At least it's not a
what they're doing
massive
to you right
production.
now.
At least it's
Yeah,
not
no
Disney and
shit.
Marvel.
My fucking
a horrible.
God. But yeah, we get to meet some of these new girls. I liked. I gotta be honest. I kind of liked the Alice Wu bitch the most.
No connection to any of them.
No,
None.
I kind of liked the kooky old lady. She kind of gave me a little bit of the typical hocus pocus Halloween Town kind of vibe. Fortune teller, the kooky hair. She's
Sanderson
old.
sister looking at.
Yeah. I did like too. We didn't find out I think until the next episode, but like you said, Jen's fucking doing that skin tear thing, but it's like all natural.
Yeah.
And fucking there's one part where Agatha's like, I know a snake oil salesman. I know an Alex Guerrero when I I know Alex Guerrero. Did you see fucking
Hanging around the facility.
Brady did like a big thank you thing fucking the other day, and you know who wasn't a part of it? Alex Guerrero.
Wow.
Yeah, he probably sees how he looks now, and he's like, I do not look as good as I did back in the day. What'd you do to me?
Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking crazy. Obviously, I know a lot of Minifans are actually listening to this, but fucking, did you guys see that story that he quote unquote put out yesterday that got 5 million views? New York Daily Times reposted it. So yesterday,
Oh, if anybody's reliable, it's the New York Daily Times.
it's fucking crazy. Yesterday, just in the middle of the fucking show, he's like, yo, Justin, stop for a second, get the camera so focused on me, and he's just like, I've heard from
with the three of
reliable
them.
sources.
Yeah, I did see that picture.
Yeah, I've heard from within the Patriots fucking the organization from 2 good sources that the first thing Tom Brady's gonna do as part owner of the Raiders is ask Bill Belichick to come out and coach him.
Oh.
Completely and utterly just made up in his mind there in that moment.
Really?
Just completely spontaneous.
Irresponsible.
They put it out, and dude, next thing you know, it's being retweeted by there's articles coming out from all these fucking dude. That just goes to show 2024 in a nutshell. No one fucking checks
Any low hanging
anything.
fruit.
Yeah.
Any low hanging fruit. Yeah.
People just fucking, like you said, the New York Times thing was literally, it's Brady, it's Belichick, and
That's
then
what I was
in the
gonna
small
say.
little box, it's fucking Kirk Minahan. It's just like, you
And
guys
then
are so dumb.
the big three.
It's just like, you guys are so fucking stupid.
Any low hanging fruit.
Oh, man, it's fucking crazy. Absolutely fucking crazy. We talked about fucking Wiccan not being able to say his name. We also, when he starts start telling his story, there's that drown out entirely. That was different. That was cool too, though. I liked that. Like I said, I liked the Alice Wu character. She was the one I liked the most. Mostly because her mom's a rock star and a witch. That was cool. Right away, I thought of fucking Fleetwood Mac. Fucking.
I'm not up to date with my Rockstar Witches. So.
Yeah, fucking Fleetwood Mac.
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks. Thank you. There you go. They called her the witch.
Yep.
Yeah. You guys are American Horror Story fans, right?
I'm not. No.
No.
Not really.
The 3rd season is really good. It's literally called Coven. It's about an all girls witch coven or whatever. And it's either in the finale or the episode before the finale. They're meeting with this old witch who's been around and seen it all. It's fucking Stevie Nicks. It's
shit.
it's fucking awesome, dude. It's fucking wicked sick.
Definitely has seen it all, I feel like.
Oh, fuck. Thank you, though. I couldn't fucking think of her name. But episode 2, like we kind of said, is just so much better. It felt like I was at least I felt like I was watching a Marvel comic book superhuman show.
Yeah.
Whereas the first one, I was like, this is abysmal.
Yeah, just as bad as anticipated going into it.
We get Kitty with us. Kitty, big part of episode 2 and
Yeah.
3. A great contribution.
Yep.
She's Mrs. Hart in that one episode of the. I think it's the first episode. The first episode of WandaVision. But that's the only time we see her. And she gets a lot more screen time in this. But she was very funny in the little time she had in this one. Episode 3, though, the next one, she was fucking hilarious.
Yep.
The downing of the wine. You know what one that got me really good was like they're showing like an invitation. It's like an invitation card, and she like takes it out of the girl's hand, and she's like, it's double sided, it's laminated, it's got fucking like gold fucking things splattered on it. She's like, and she goes, what does that mean? She goes, it's expensive. Like little shit like that, fucking like that was what shit really made me laugh. They spill something on like on the couch, and she's like, the upholstery. Yeah.
Channeling her, that 70s show stuff. The
Yes.
Kitty Foreman, yeah.
Yes. And like I kind of said to you guys a minute ago, like Agatha starts to come back in episode 2. I feel like she was really, really back, like in this third episode. Like fully. I love that she keeps, which if you watch with subtitles like I do.
Yeah, I've been starting to.
Okay, so
last couple.
when Wiccan would talk, it said teen. Like,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because she keeps referring to him as that. I thought that was wicked fucking funny, just the way that she did that. It was like so demeaning.
Yeah.
When she in episode 2, when she recruits the old bitch, she's like, oh, who's this? And she's like, my pet. Shut up.
Yeah.
He's got social anxiety. I call him Pet. Say hi, Pet.
Yeah.
But she fully got back into form. There was the other scene too where they I can't remember what episode it was, but they all like, I think it's when they first arrive on the road. And like they're like all in a little bit of mud, and she's like the first one up, and she's literally like stepping over the other girls, like the other witches, and like pushing them aside, like get the fuck out of my way. Episode 3 was when we get the Mephisto thing, like we said. First trial was cool. A little fucking. I thought they were just gonna like, so they get the boils and they saw like the swelling up. I don't know about you guys, but I thought the swelling, almost like with Last of Us, you know, like the blobs that get huge. That's almost where I thought that was going. I was like, yo, they're just gonna keep getting like Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. They're just gonna blow up they're just gonna blow these girls up until they're too big and they just explode.
Like Willy Wonka, they're drinking the
Yes.
fizzy lifting.
You're turning violet, Violet. Yeah.
I literally thought that's where we were going with it. We didn't though. We went a different route. They, basically like they're having hallucinations and shit, which are all like different variations of trippy. And then I think there's one ongoing thing that we did learn too, which is the old witch there, Lilia. She keeps having like these weird ass like outbursts where it almost seems like she's like talking as somebody else. There's one specifically, actually it's not her though, it's Kitty, now that I think about it. Kitty has an outburst, and it's very similar to what she does in the WandaVision pilot. Because remember, like, her husband's, like, choking on the piece of food. And at first she's like, knock it off. Like, knock it off. And she keeps laughing. It's like, yo, like, your husband's dying. You can tell something's fucked up. And then, like, Vision goes and saves him. But it seems like she's like, like, in this show, she's saying, like, Wanda, help him breathe. Wanda, help him breathe. So it's like, it has to somehow tie into that. I'd imagine, at least.
I don't know how.
That's a good catch. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
very similar.
WandaVision's a fucking great show. That's another one, like, it's obviously a way, way, way better than She-Hulk, but that's another show that I've like just kind of like tossed on, like almost as like a sitcom, like background noise, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are parts of it like I just find very funny. People fucking, dude, do you remember like how people reacted to those first 2 episodes that were in black and white? People hated them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't get it. I was like, I fucking that second episode where Vision swallows the gum and he basically acts drunk during the magic show. I was like, this is fucking hilarious. I was like, I don't know why you guys are mad. This whole thing's been sold as a sitcom.
People just have steamy dumps in their pants.
They did. Like, they did. It was the very, 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 very first thing that people saw of Marvel on Disney Plus, though. So that might have had something to do with it.
Yep.
Because that was like number
You think
one.
everything's gonna be fucking Avengers? Like,
Yeah,
like,
true.
Come on, man.
Yeah. No, I love the direction they took it with. Very, very unique, like kind of bold type of show, and yeah, I think they pulled it off. I could see how people would be frustrated at the beginning. They're like, "What is this? I don't want to see Wanda in Leave It to Beaver." Like,
Yeah, like dressed up.
I want to see like WandaVision, you know. And but yeah, it turns the corner pretty quickly.
Oh man, they're just such like an interesting pairing because obviously she's like the most powerful witch. He's like a symbiote that can do like all these things, and they happen to be in love, and it's just like they're cooking dinner in the first episode. It like there's just like she's like doing all the fucking lobsters and doing all kinds of magic. Vision's pulling the shutters. Like it's just a funny fucking dynamic that realistically does work in a sitcom form. I fucking love that show. Great fucking show. If Loki didn't exist, it would be head and shoulders above the like. There's like Loki, and I don't even think there's like a little tiny step. If Loki's like the A tier, then WandaVision's like the A- tier, and then there's like a good drop.
Oh, significant drop.
I love Hawkeye though. I've watched Hawkeye legitimately like at least 4 or 5 times now. Because I watch it every Christmas season. It's such a it's Christmas season. It's got all the lights. We're in Times Square and shit. It's so festive, and it's just like a good time. Let me tell you something. No one can ever say that they don't admit when they're wrong. Well, at least as far as I go, I was totally wrong about Haley Seinfeld as fucking Kate Bishop. I didn't know it through a hole in the wall. I was like, this Disney Channel fucking bitch. I was like, the trailers. I was like, this looks terrible. I was like, this looks like, what is it?
She's great.
Yeah, I was like, this looks like the Disney version of a Marvel show, and fucking, she won me over. Even right away in that first episode, I was like, oh wow, I was wrong. I was like, Kate Bishop's awesome. Give me more Haley Seinfeld. She's great in that role.
She's a great actress in general.
I mentioned her quickly in the Back to School draft, the movie with Woody Harrelson, Edge of 17. I told you guys to check that one out. It's a good movie.
I will.
That's pre Kate Bishop.
Okay. There's also a Western movie with John Bridges that she plays she's like 16 or something, and it's really a True Grit. That's what it is.
She's in that.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Pretty sure.
I like True Grit.
She's like the
I haven't
young lady.
seen it in a long time though. Yep, right away. It's like the 3rd thing on our IMDb.
Yeah, that was the first thing I ever saw her in, and she's super impressive. She's a badass little kid trying to like fight for her dad, and like just gives good shit to Jeff Bridges, who's this like worn down bounty hunter dude. Yeah. Rooster Cogburn or something.
Yeah, I'll say True Grit was 2010. I probably saw her maybe in 2010. Oh yeah, here she is. Yep. Yeah, see, I haven't seen this in so long.
She's like super formal. She's like, my father. Like,
she looks exactly the same. That's wild.
Yeah, she's really intense and very well done. That was my favorite. I don't know, just like a young actress like that. She's really powerful.
Yeah. I don't really remember this movie much at all. I'm gonna have to rewatch this one.
Matt Damon in it too.
Oh yeah, no, the cast is loaded. Yeah. Fucking Josh Brolin, Jeff Bridges. Oh, it's a good one. I think I've only seen that one time, so that would definitely point
very
to
good.
That, but yeah, no, like I said, I was dead wrong about that. I watched Hawkeye, so that one came. That was like the 4th show because it went WandaVision, Captain Falcon, The Winter Soldier, Loki, and then that one.
Then Hawkeye?
Yeah, then Hawkeye. Unless I'm forgetting. Oh, there was What If too. What If was after Loki, but yeah, then Hawkeye. Like that was before Miss Marvel.
That was before
Moon
Falcon?
Knight. No. Falcon was 2. So WandaVision, Falcon, and then Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier was before Hawkeye?
Yeah, that was the second one. It went like February was, I think it was like in the winter. I think it was like February was WandaVision. Then the spring was Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Then it went Loki like in the summertime. What If was at like August, and then Hawkeye was like November-ish, like leading into Christmas season. Fuck with me. Go ahead. Look it up. I bet you even those months were fucking pretty spot on just now. I bet you fucking Falcon and the Winter Soldier probably started in May, and Loki probably started in like late June or something like that. And then What If it was in August? Luke, I feel like Luke's on.
I'm trying. I keep giving me everything that's coming up instead of ones that have.
Oh, instead of the old ones?
Yeah.
Fucking What If, man. Talk about a total fucking swing and a miss on a TV show. That show could be so fucking cool, and like they just don't get creative enough. They just don't get creative enough. That second season, man. I couldn't even finish it. I never even finished the second season. They went so in on fucking Captain Britain and shit. I couldn't. I was out. Where'd we go? So episode 4 was another good one. This was the we're fresh. Kitty's death, sad. Kitty went and died, but we get Aubrey Plaza back into the mix, which her reintro I thought was very cool. Actually, you know what? Remember when Wanda comes out of the mirror in Doctor Strange? She's all like jointed and shit. Right. Aubrey Plaza did something kind of similar to that. She was like in the dirt and the mud. She came out like a zombie, but all her limbs were all like snapped and shit like that. So there's I feel like a lot of similarities with these witches as far as shit like that goes. But we got her back in, and then this was, I think, my favorite. I don't think this was definitely my favorite episode. This was Alice's trial. And
Yeah,
let me tell you, I've definitely expressed it before. I love me a musical piece, and that was what this entire trial was basically about.
And that's what this show should be kind of be. You know what I mean?
Yes, a goofy, good fucking time. I couldn't agree more. I would love a musical piece every episode.
Goes well with the witch theme too.
It does. Yes, it definitely fucking does. But I thought that shit was fucking great, dude. Like,
You gotta sing.
yeah.
Sing.
Like just Agatha like pointing positions out to people at first. Aubrey Plaza playing the drums like she's playing Rock Band on Easy, just like
yeah, she was, yeah.
playing like an absolute slow motion. But I fucking love this. Catherine Hahn that was definitely her too. She was fucking definitely. I mean, I'm pretty confident at least that was her singing, and she did a pretty damn good job. I thought.
Very entertaining.
Very entertaining. It was cool too. Like, so basically, like the demon that comes out at the end is basically like the physical form of like a curse, and she like sees it. And she's just like, "I'm gonna fucking play harder."
Hammering the piano.
Yeah, the thing's like on her shoulders and shit, and she's still just like, "Nah, fuck it. I'm gonna let it go." That was cool. I really liked that episode a lot. Like I said, I think Alice was the one that I enjoyed the most of. And then we get to episode 5. Episode 5 is the last one. So today's Thursday. Episode 6 did come out yesterday. We're not going to be talking episode 6. We're going to be doing an end of season review. So we're going to save 6, 7, 8, and 9 for the end season review. Which 8 and 9 are coming out together, which is annoying. Huh. So yesterday was 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh, so probably by Halloween, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to get it done by Halloween. I guess that makes sense.
Regardless, we're going to be doing it with the Penguin finale, so people are going to have to wait a week. Who gives a shit? I don't think people care that much. Third trial, Agatha's trial. We get the Halloween costumes, which kind of reminded me of WandaVision, sort of again. Just with like the themes, eras, all of that shit. Especially since the last one was like disco era and shit. This one's now like Halloween. There was like that same kind of thing as WandaVision. There's like a lot of ties to that show, which makes sense because that's where Agatha's from. It's witchcraft and all that shit. But this is where we're gonna end off before we get to episode 6, and the ending was wild. Like Agatha, we come across Agatha's mom and like a ghost spirit, and she's basically gonna like. This is the first time we saw something from Aubrey Plaza's character that was different too. Like every time we see her so far, she's just like maniacal and very funny. Like very, very, very funny. But always like unserious. And then we see Agatha's mom. She's like, "Yo, if you leave Agatha, you guys can continue on the road." And that's the first time that she not drops character, but like no fucking bullshit. Like no.
Yeah.
And I think it's Jen. She's the one that's just like, you were ready to fucking like get rid of her like 2 minutes ago, and she's like, "Yeah, well, not to her fucking mom."
Right.
So I was like, okay, okay, Aubrey Plaza.
And the demon's terrifying too. Throw it back to the Exorcist too.
It is.
Things fucking backwards, walking down the stairs, spider walking.
For sure.
Yeah.
Demon's terrifying.
For sure. No, it looked good. Even the ghost looked pretty good too. Actually, the ghost didn't look like CGI. Like it looked. No. As far as that shit goes, I think the show's done a pretty good job. Like we mentioned, Secret Invasion.
Oh, the
CGI in that show is not good.
Well, from the last episode too, the ghoul thing. That thing was terrifying.
Good. Yeah. She-Hulk had moments too. Like we talked about that earlier, but She-Hulk definitely had a couple moments CGI wise that were definitely a little fucking tough. Yeah. But to me, this one's been pretty clean. This one's been pretty clean. The only other things I guess would mention would be not tough, but Agatha steals the power. That's how Alice dies. Wiccan puts the end to the whole thing. Nicholas Scratch, a name that I don't know anything about. No. Completely new to me. I'm going to assume it's new to you as well. Yes,
it's new. I believe it's supposed to be her son.
That's what I assumed too.
Yeah.
That's what I assumed, but you never know. And then Wiccan's basically going to be like, I'm not going to be like you. Like, I'm not going to do evil shit because I have to do evil shit. Like, I'm going to be a good guy, basically. And this is when Agatha goes like evil, I guess, kind of for the first time. Like, she's got that evil, sinister look. She's snickering. She's like, oh, she's doing like the witch fingers. You know what I mean? Like, oh, my princess, are you really going to do that? No. And then Wiccan goes nuts. Wiccan fucking... Yeah, takes control.
She says you're just like your mother.
Yes, that's right. That pisses him off. That's right. full on takes control of two other witches. Just takes control of them. They throw fucking Agatha into the mud, and then he fucking Darth Vader fucking throws them into the mud. And then we see him with basically like the Scarlet Witch like crown on. Only it's blue and it's on his head.
Yeah.
But great way to end off like we said, we're not doing episode 6. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know about you guys.
Nope.
No.
All right, perfect. So this was, I feel like, a great place to have like a mid-season, like, oh shit.
Yeah, corner is turned. There's been some like major realizations, and
Yeah.
we're gonna go into the home stretch here.
Even if you had any thoughts, like even before this, as soon as you saw they get to the trial and they do the Halloween costumes, he's dressed exactly like he is in the WandaVision Halloween episode. Like exactly the same. He's got the same shirt on, he's got the same headband on. Yeah. So it's like, oh, all right, yeah.
Right.
Like,
So I don't think it's going to be a same comparison, but so episode 5 of this and episode 5 of WandaVision, you had like either the return or debut of a major character.
was that?
So you had obviously Wiccan in this, and then you had fucking, was it Dick Boner or whatever his name was?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Evan Peters.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go,
Quicksilver
Evan Peters.
come back in WandaVision 2 in episode 5. I hope that's not the same, because obviously he was a huge wet fart when he came back, and it was like,
Right.
oh, I'm Ralph Boner or whatever his name was. Like, you know what I mean? Just like corny as hell.
What if Evan Peters comes back again? Ralph Boner and Nicholas Scratch are the same person.
And he's better than Ralph Boner, I guess.
Yeah, I'm into it.
What if Ralph Boner is just the name that Wanda?
It's like an anagram for something.
Yeah.
Like Tom Riddle.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. Like, that's not a
That's
bad
cipher.
idea, dog.
That's a cipher in the code.
That's we're gonna have to start looking in. Not enough letters to be Nicholas Scratch, but like Evan Peters could just been Wanda's version of him in Westview. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
It had to be something, because in WandaVision that was nothing more than just a middle finger.
yeah, big
Because
time.
everybody was so gassed to have him show up, like, and then the next week it was like, oh, I'm just Ralph Boner, like some random guy. Ralph Boner. It's basically like them just flipping off the crowd. Just like, gotcha, motherfucker.
Man, that would be a massive long con if that whole thing was like.
It's probably gonna fucking come back in this too to be a fucking.
That's what
wet
I'm
fart,
saying.
too.
If it was all like a long con of some variety, that would be.
I thought you can get rid of
wild.
Ralph Boner. I don't think so. Ugh. Not that easy.
Fuck. Now my head is kind of like spit. Well, we just got like an older version of Wiccan. Like he's the older version of fucking Billy.
Yeah.
Or is Billy? No, Billy is Wiccan.
Yeah, Billy's
right?
wicked.
What's the other one's name?
Not sure.
Billy and fucking I know it's
Wiccan and
Speed.
Speed.
But what is the actual name? Tommy. There we go. Billy and Tommy. I knew they were both generic ass fucking names. I knew they were wicked generic names. But he's basically just like the older version of that. Maybe there's like, you know what I'm saying?
Like I said, anything's better than Ralph Boner.
Okay, let's take this another step further. Ralph Boner, Evan Peters' character in WandaVision, was directly tied to Agatha. Like he was living with Agatha and all that shit. Now, and you get what I'm saying? And now she's got Wiccan, but the older version. In this show,
So do we now have the real
both the older versions of both characters.
of Ralph Boner? Or of
Again, I'm saying like let's say like WandaVision, Westview kind of shit. Like Ralph Boner is just the character she made him. Like the black guy was like in the police department, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same kind of thing like that. Like even like she was powerful enough to make Agnes think she was a fucking cop in a detective show.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she can make fucking Evan Peters think that he's fucking Ralph Boner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
True.
True, yeah.
Yeah. I think you're onto something. Indeed.
See, this is why there's enough along the storyline that keeps pulling me along. It makes me interested every single week.
Yeah.
And all the people.
Versus just waiting for Wanda to come back one way or the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I definitely hear you.
It's not enough.
Also, they are doing the 2-part finale on October 30th. So it
Right
is,
before Halloween.
queued up for Halloween. Yeah.
Oh man, now my brain's really spinning because I feel like that is so like Agatha's had both of her
You got
sons.
Ralph Boner on the brain, dude.
Yeah,
Boner
man.
on the
Agatha's had both of her fucking sons like under her fucking wing, dude. I think that's so perfect. And then we get Evan Peters back. Like you said, people were pissed because they're like, "Oh, this."
Oh, what an F you! What an F you!
But it's not. It was a fake F you to piss
was.
people off for years.
What
Oh,
an
man.
F you that was! Oh my god!
Oh man, my mind's blown right now. My mind's a spinning. I think that'd be great. See, let me tell you something. They do shit like that. This show could actually be like, oh wow, we were dead wrong.
Yeah,
Like, this show actually fucked.
It could be third overall.
Let's go.
It's kind of there.
I'm optimistic.
It's kind of there. Like I said, I really like Hawkeye, but yeah, no, it could. Depends. I mean,
Depends how impactful it is.
Yeah.
well, Young Avengers is coming, like for sure, and Wiccan's definitely going to be like, I'd imagine, a major part of that because he's supposed to be like as powerful, basically, as Wanda is. So I think if we're going to introduce him in this show, I feel like it's going to be a pivotal moment.
Yeah,
Pivotal moment.
as it should be.
Yeah. So those are the 5 episodes of Agatha. I think kind of like we already said, though, at least for me, way better than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Way better.
And
than I anticipated.
high potential to even do better.
You're right.
We'll see how they pull it off.
Yeah. If it ends, it could end really, really fucking strong, and we could all be here eating our words.
Yeah, and that's how these Marvel shows, like, should be impactful to the whole storyline, like how Loki was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this should be impactful in bringing Wanda back.
Yeah.
Whatever the end result is.
Yeah, no, bringing Wanda back would be a huge impact on the entire Marvel universe.
I don't see how it's any other way.
No, that's a good call. I didn't think of that, to be honest, which is crazy of me, but yeah, no. I don't think there was anything else I really wanted to mention. Orby Plaza has been really good.
Yeah.
I will say that. She's been really, really good.
She's great.
She's good.
We love her.
She's been really, really good.
She's great.
Yeah, just great tone to the show. It's like it's not taking itself too seriously. They're
Definitely
like
not.
checking themselves the whole way. Every time they say something intense about how witches work, they're doing some goofy thing to lighten the mood and yeah, keeping it interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it ends.
Yeah. Even the first one I wouldn't say was like a full blown musical piece, but when they're opening the door and they're like singing for the first time, like Kitty's like, am I supposed to know the words to this? And then once they get towards the end, they've done the chorus a bunch of times. She's like throwing her arms up and she's singing it too.
Yeah.
She was great in those 2 episodes, man. She was great. Great.
Kitty Foreman.
Yeah, great comedic relief. R.I.P. in peace. So yeah, I think kind of like we all said, way better than we initially expected, and we're excited to see where it goes from here. If it nails this ending, the last few episodes could be great, especially leading up to Halloween, like you said the day before. Could be perfect.
Love it.
Wow, that was actually longer than I thought. Let's go on to our next show. A show that I think is even better. We are halfway through, 4 episodes in, 4 episodes to go. It is taking over the Sunday night primetime spot for HBO, where the greatest of greatest shows live. This is where Game of Thrones comes from. This is where The Sopranos comes from. This is where The Wire comes from. The big ones. And I think that this show actually, even if you're not a comic book fan, I think you can watch this show and be like, this show is fucking good.
Oh yeah. There hasn't been any supernatural, superhero, anything so far.
Nope.
No.
Very grounded
It's
in reality.
just
And
monsters.
it seems like that's how this Batman universe is gonna be. Like even the director was saying, like his whole thing is to make this very grounded. So it's not gonna be Poison Ivy having fucking plants growing all over the place, or like Mr. Freeze fucking freezing everything up. Like
Right.
it's supposed to be very grounded and talk about like the corruption of Gotham and all that. And
Yeah.
that's
Matt
exactly
Reeves.
what this show is. Yeah, Matt Reeves.
Yeah, really well done. And just
It is like Sopranos level good though. I think in terms of like mafia.
It's yeah.
You know what I
get
mean?
you're
Like
saying.
I really think it's
Definitely more violent than Sopranos is. Sopranos is a lot of the day-to-day life with mixes of violence sprinkled in.
right. It's just like a family. Yeah, like a mafia family going through normal stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
the kids going through high school and shit. But like
We're gonna actually make a couple Sons of Anarchy references while we're talking about this show because Theo Rossi's in it. But there's actually one thing where actually he's talking to Juice now that I think about it. I know you're a Sons guy, but Clay's like the majority of this life day to day is just sitting around like bullshitting basically.
Yeah.
But he's like, once in a while, we ask people to do the things that nobody else can do, which is kind of like describing almost like the mob lifestyle.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a good way to interpret.
and that's
the
how this
Sopranos.
that's how this is now that Gotham is completely. This is post the Batman movie where Gotham is completely flooded and
right. So
they're like rebooting the whole thing. So like that's just kind of how it is every day now. You got to like build from the ground up. Everything's for the taking right now. If you're the mafia,
Yeah. I think that's a big reason for all this extra violence and stuff too. It is a time of transition, and like there's power to be grabbed. So everybody's doing some crazy shit right now.
It's a great example of like if you have one bad product, it doesn't mean that the whole thing is bad. Like you can still save it. Like the Batman was really, really, really bad. Like, it was trash.
I mean, it wasn't, but yeah.
But
no,
then,
I get what you're saying.
Then we have the Penguin. It's like saving the whole universe. All I'm saying is like we're trying to be Matt Reeves' universe. We're all dark and gritty and grounded.
Dark and gritty.
And then like nothing. There's nothing. And then you get to the Penguin. The Penguin is shooting people in the face like 15 minutes into the pilot of this episode.
Yep.
Alberto Falcone too. Yeah.
So in this, I'm not gonna lie. This first episode, I think like the opening 20 minutes of this show has been my favorite stretch like of this show so far.
Oh yeah.
And I've really, really liked the show.
Yeah.
But the
when he shoots Alberto, that was just one of those like
fucking incredible.
Jump up off the couch like, oh shit,
And
like,
the laugh.
Like, oh my god, like this is how it's gonna be. Let's go.
The fucking laugh that he lets, like he's just fucking.
Right.
And then fucking, I loved. You see him taking the body out back, and
He
like
just fucking throws him down.
I was gonna say, I think almost everybody watching the show had the same like. He's already dead. It's just. I literally, I thought it. I think I said it too.
And also, like this guy's got like a club foot. Like he's gonna struggle getting down the stairs.
Good
is he
point.
not?
Yep.
Like,
Good point.
Fuck this.
Just tosses
Throw
him
down
right
the
over.
stairs.
And then right into the like the introduction to Victor, who's obviously a major character of the show, but I thought that was awesome too. Like this whole intro to the show, to the Penguin, to Victor, the whole thing. Like he just gets outside, he doesn't even think twice. It's his own car, and he just like open fires. Like, which he ends up hitting his own car, and he just like couldn't care less. It's just such a reckless fucking lifestyle basically that he lives by, which we just saw when he killed fucking Alberto too. Same shit. He's just reckless, doesn't give a fuck, just letting it fly.
So like we were saying with just talking about Rings of Power, where there's some storylines that just like don't really give a fuck about.
Okay.
This one has three main storylines. Like it's obviously Penguin, it's Sophia Falcone, and then it's Victor. So like all three of them I'm very intrigued by. You know what I mean? Like you got some episodes that had Victor's background, and then you're also trying to figure out like, is this guy really? Is he gonna stick it out through and through? But all three storylines I'm very captivated by.
Yeah, to the point where they're doing flashbacks for all three throughout.
Yeah, you get a Victor episode.
Yeah, you get the
right.
couple weeks ago from Victor. You get the 10 years ago from Sophia.
Yep.
And with Penguin in it too. And
Yep.
Yeah,
It's just really cool that he's not just a fucking driver.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's very involved in this too.
Right, and then connecting Penguin being Sophia's driver when he was coming up too. Like,
yeah, that I was gonna say that was a big thing, is that you kind of feel like is Penguin really like 100% committed to this guy? But during that,
To Victor,
right?
I think he is. I think he shows it a couple times.
But you also
not like directly, but if you look close enough, I think he shows it.
Yeah, and then you also see it the last episode before this, this podcast, where like that's how Penguin started. Like he was a driver for Sophia.
Yeah.
So that's so that showed me that he's committed to this guy, and like he wants him to stick around.
yeah.
So we kind of just said
He's not just some goon that's a fucking cab driver. You know?
no, of course not. I don't think you get introduced to him in the opening 20 minutes of the show for him to just be like a driver. Like obviously he's going to be a big character. And I liked Victor in the first two episodes a lot. I still like him, but when the third episode started and they're showing his home life and they show the flood, which the flood looked cool.
It did.
Good CGI. That was tight. The flood looked very
That's
cool.
exactly what it was during the movie. But anyways. That's the same CGI from the movie that you don't
digress.
like. But anywho.
I digress. But it fucking like hit the fucking building and shit.
Oh, it hit the building. That's right.
And then like, the fucking
That's right. I forgot-
shut the
I
fuck up.
forgot it hit the
Regardless, it looked fucking cool. But
Forgot
like
about the building.
I was like, all right. I was like, I like the Victor character, and I want to see his progression. But I gotta be honest, I don't really give a fuck about.
But it's not. But it's not get up and go take a piss worthy to me.
And if when I watch it again, when I watch this show again in a year
It's
from
the same-
now,
it's the same thing as-
absolutely gonna be me taking a piss when he's talking to his mom and dad or whatever, and when he's talking to that girlfriend of his. I'm definitely gonna go take a piss.
Isn't he going to turn into some Penguin henchman who's like badass stuff.
Yeah, and like I
so
said,
it's all gonna matter.
like his
It's all just come up.
progression, I care about. Like I'm interested. And by the end of the episode, I did come around because obviously, like, he's gonna go fucking throw away his whole new life for his 17-year-old crush to go live in California and try to be a student, basically be poor.
Right.
I was like, this is crazy. And to see like him kind of like, all right, like the conversation is actually one of the conversation with Oz in the bathroom is one of the examples I was talking about with Oz just now. Like when he sees that Victor is trying to leave him, it's like a genuine, like, or at least it seems genuine. Like not when he's talking to Sophia, like you can still kind of see like there's a little bit of him being a snake. When Victor like says like he feels like he's basically got like a gun to his head, like that, it feels like it genuinely hurts him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
He's like, this is like how you really feel. Like I put money in your pocket, I put clothes on your back, I gave you a place to live because I genuinely see something in you, and you're only here because you feel like you have to be here. And I feel like, again, that's just how I interpreted it, but it felt like it was genuine to me, where he was like, he was hurt.
But he's also at the same time like, but don't fuck me over. Like when he's throwing him in the grave, and he's like, now you get in the fuck. Like when he's digging the bodies.
Yeah,
he's like, now you get in the fucking grave. Like,
yeah, Victor has reason to want to run away. I think there's plenty. It's not like he's like in a great situation.
no,
could easily,
He has a father figure and a place to crash, but that's like a week after he just lost his parents. It doesn't mean he needs to like.
there are like, there's always things. There's always like little like he's talking to his girlfriend. Speaking of things I'm gonna fast forward through, but he's like, I think like he likes me. He likes having me around. Like I think he's lonely, which is all things that are on the head. Like he's absolutely right. Like it's not like just like
but he also like.
let me just give you a test run. Like there is something more to the relationship.
He started as a driver for somebody like Oz is
So
right
he's
now.
at the
You know what I
bottom.
mean? Like
Yeah,
he
had
knows
nothing.
how fucking high you can take it if you stay in this. You know what I mean? Stay in this business.
Yeah,
Especially if someone
and
believes
ride
in
it
you.
out.
And,
And he obviously has the street smarts, like that scene with the cop where he's sitting in the car.
That
and
was a
and
big
then
learning moment
He
with
takes the
seeing-
fucking
yeah.
like
Yeah,
the
that
kid's
was
got
great.
the fucking street smarts.
Yeah.
So he knows it. You know.
which is great when he tells like the ping Oz is like laughing his ass off.
Yeah.
he's like, you took the whole
I
water
told him-
cash. He's
and I
like,
told him what-
that
yeah.
sucks, kid. Don't worry, I'll give you more.
Yeah. And I told him what money.
Exactly. He's like, he's proud of him. Like,
So
fucking-
he has what it takes.
He's
you
learning
know?
the life.
It's just he's playing that game of, you know, can I stay committed in it or should I just bail?
Yeah. There's even to like his relation, like I said, that there are signs that he like takes it seriously. But like even in that very first episode, like after he first meets him, there are like those little he does it a couple of other times too. Like when he's staying in his apartment, he's like, if you do anything fishy, I'm gonna know about it. If you touch anything, I'm gonna know about it. He sprinkles in like threats, but you can tell that they're not like entirely genuine.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like he is like obligated. He's like, all right, I'm the guy in charge here. You're like my underling, and he's like, I gotta keep you on your toes. You know what I mean? Like if you do anything, I'll gut you like a fish. You know what I mean?
He's only pissed when like his life's in danger. You know what I mean? Like when he
When he
fucked
really
up.
fucks up.
Yeah, with the bag, like the jewels or whatever it was, like to plant it in the guy's car. When he fucks up like that, then he'll fucking kill you. But if he's at his apartment touching shit, you know.
Yeah. We meet Sophia Falcone in the first episode. That was really awesome, man.
This fucking
she's
actress,
fucking
dude.
unbelievable.
Great acting the whole show.
This
She's
fucking
great.
actress, bro. Holy shit.
So believable. Yeah.
Was it Kristen
She's the best part of this whole show.
Kristen Melody.
Kristen Melody.
Yeah, she's
Dude,
fantastic.
Give her the Emmy right now.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She is phenomenal in this, dude. I'm blown away by her.
Yeah, especially episode 4. It's wild.
Yeah, episode 4, like the first episode too, like she's intimidating sometimes too, like some 125 pounds soaking wet.
Let me tell you
fucking dog.
something. That look she gives to the camera
is horrifying.
is the shit of fucking nightmares,
Yeah.
dude. Like if you've ever been with a crazy girl, which like I think she can probably hear me right now. She's like 10 feet outside of this door. They give you like that look, and it's like, oh my
Shivers,
god,
shivers down your spine.
yeah, like it's true fucking like fear. It's
I
like,
will break you in half.
Oh my god,
Like,
oh
like,
my god.
don't
No,
fuck-
like if you sleep, I will cut your knife, like your throat open with a box cutter.
Like that look
Try
is
me.
that look is more scary than the penguin telling somebody, you know, if you touch anything, I'll gut you like a fish.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
like that look that she gives is way more fucking intimidating.
Yep.
I think from the first episode, the big thing I wanted to mention was just how I thought the first 20 minutes was the biggest thing. Good ending, too. Good ending.
Yep.
They're torturing fucking Oz. They got like
and that's part of the look. Like one of the looks that she gives. She's like, "You fucking me? Like you
Yeah.
double crossing me? Like
Right.
I'll fucking kill you."
And even in that moment, he's trusting Vic to pull it off in time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he's still not talking. He's like, I believe in this kid.
Yeah.
That's true. His whole life and everything is on the. It's a really good point.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a really, really, really good point.
And then one more thing I want to say about episode 1 is, so obviously the Batman ends with Carmine Falcone dying, and so there's this big power vacuum in like all of Gotham. You know, there's someone that needs to step up there. And so I think Penguin maybe had this really well organized plan to take that power, and Alberto was his path to that. And so he was trying to play Alberto until Alberto fucking made fun of him.
Yeah,
And
cross
he
the line. Right.
had to, he snaps, and then everything goes ablaze. Like he now has to ad lib and make up his plan every second of every day, minute to minute. And I think he did have a plan, but now he's just scrambling, and we see how good he is at that too.
Right.
I think Sophia's what really changed all that.
Yeah.
I think I think you're spot on. I think like he did have a plan, and it was unraveling the Falcone. Like now that there's that power,
but
vacuum,
using
like you said,
Alberto was his.
Yeah. Right.
he's already kind of said he knew Alberto like before he's the head of before he killed, like he already knew him, like he knows. Actually, he knows he likes to drink. He knows he likes to drop.
That's what I was gonna say. He's also way easier to persuade. Like he does the drops.
Exactly.
He's an alcoholic. Like he's an easier one to
manipulate.
Here, have you fixed. Like here, take your fix.
And now he knows he's the new head of the family, and he probably knows even if he kills this guy that there's such a influx with the power and like who's gonna take over that he can shine through. Like that probably is somewhere in the back of his mind when he decides to just shoot Alberto on the whip.
Yeah.
But I think he also has the card of he knows the not the Falcones, but the other one, the Maronis. He knows the Maronis. You know, they still have that beef going on. So he's like, this is how I got to play. I got to have them go at each other,
Right.
While I'm the savior for both sides. You know what I mean?
Right. And those wheels start turning right after he fucking pulls the trigger. And he's
he's playing such a dangerous
What did I
game.
do?
Dude. Every episode he plays such a dangerous game.
Yep.
Basically, every episode up to this point was him getting caught by one of them, one way or the other, until he gets out of it.
Just gets 5 seconds to come up with something, and he comes up with the right frickin' thing that
Fails
buys him
himself
more
out at the
time.
last second, yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Constantly doing that that bouncing of back and forth from side to side.
He gives the ring to, right? He gives the ring to
Sal.
Yeah, that was
Sal
so-
Marone.
that was so-
Yeah. I believe this is
my
yours.
favorite scenes.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Proving that
the
he
first episode was
actually
fantastic.
has some reason to be believed in while like framing him for everything, and I don't know,
Fucking
it's just
genius.
so sick. Yeah.
Genius.
I think IMDb literally has each episode, like rating wise by the audience, like continuously getting better and better and better. And I think this last one was like a 9.5. It was
This
one of
is
the
a
highest
9.5,
TV
yeah.
shows of all time. I still think it's crazy because I think the first episode was the best episode of the show. I think the first episode was fucking fantastic.
It was up until this one.
Until 4?
Four. Yeah.
You know what's actually...
Because my favorite part is Sophia's character and the actress. So this episode was
she's
her just
fantastic.
blowing the whole episode away.
You know, though, now that I think about one thing that we were just kind of mentioning, is that he kills Alberto, and it's very much built on him doing it wicked reactionally, right?
Yep.
Like Alberto laughs to him, and he almost can't control his reaction. Like he just snaps off and shoots him.
Right.
But then, one time where we see him actually be like scary, like a true villain, is with Vidi in bed.
Yeah.
When he takes the phone and he like drives it into his mouth. Mm-hmm. If he had really been so set on reactions, why does he not shoot Vidi too right there in that bed? You know what I'm saying? Like if laughing at you is grounds for you to pull out your gun and shoot somebody.
But
He literally like didn't just laugh at him. He's like, why the fuck do you think every group calls you the Penguin? He's like, you're a laughing stock amongst this entire family. And he's able to control that emotion, that rage. He still obviously acts upon it a little bit. He shoves the phone in his mouth and he kind of scares him. But he's able to control it enough where he doesn't fucking just shoot him in the face.
But I think at that point when he kills Alberto is that he knows he still has the card of I can pin the Falcones and the Maronis against each other.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. The same thing.
So when he's doing that part with Vidi, he doesn't. I don't think he he has that car. He's still smart at the end of the day.
We're
More
on
than
the
he is
same
stubborn.
right. That's
You know?
we're on the exact same page.
Yeah.
Even though he is very reactive. Above that is still the intelligence.
Yeah,
it's
he's
like
not,
1 and 1.
He's not full blown like Joe Pesci in Goodfellas.
Right.
Level crazy.
Exactly.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like,
yeah. Exactly.
The way he was mad at himself right after he did it. He did a laugh, and then he's like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, one thing we haven't even mentioned is his relationship with his mom.
Yeah,
But that's
so cool.
He says the same thing. He's just like, "Oh yeah, you laughed at me." She's like, "No, that's not why you did it."
Yeah.
Which that mom is a fucking
OG.
kooky broad.
Mom and
man.
OG.
Yeah, dude. She's manipulative as
Bad influence.
fuck, dude.
Mama OG.
But if you want your son to be the fucking crime lord, she's a good influence. She's pointing him in the right direction, giving him some confidence.
Yeah. I already mentioned the VD thing I liked. You know, it was another good moment as far as Oz showing, because obviously, like for the audience, they want Oz to be somewhat likable.
Yeah,
know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like a likable good guy.
Sympathetic, at least.
Yeah. Fucking Walter White, Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing. And I liked how in the second episode, when the drops heist is going down and he gets moved to the other car. Actually, VD's the one that do it. He moves him to the other car. That's like a cool, like true, like one side and one side. He's like, I got my gun and I have to shoot somebody.
Yeah, whatever car I'm ending up in, I'm lighting him up.
And that was a cool fucking scene. Like the driver makes a joke, and then Oz makes his own joke. He's like, "Yes, gotta know your audience." I can't remember what the jokes were, but then he just like lights up the two Maroney men.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fucking very cool. And then he saves Sophia's guy, who's the same guy that was torturing him at the end of episode 1.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Genius again to that intelligence. Like,
Yeah, and those 5 or 10 seconds where you know he has to figure shit out is just so intense.
Right,
Yeah.
he does it on
He's
the
like, okay,
on the fly.
that plan just got fucked. What is he
Yeah.
thinking right now? And then he pulls off this really impressive little twisting of minds and words and
which is what he says to Victor. It's like you have to be thinking on your feet. Like you have to be like quick. Otherwise, you're gonna fucking die.
Even to the point where right after that, he has to think on his feet again. Even in or situations where you think he doesn't have to.
right.
Like they're at Alberto Valcone's funeral, and he has to think on the fly again because the guy's tied up in the basement, ready to give away. You know what I mean?
yes.
Yeah,
He just
that was a
like
sick
every
scene.
single episode is him just thinking like, how do I get out of this?
Yep. And then
without
they're all
blowing the cover.
They're all searching him, and he's got the
Even when he kills the guy.
He goes.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a 2-level thing. That goes to show the intelligence. Like he already has been trying to plant seeds that VD is the rat. So he goes out in front of everybody and calls VD on that shit. So in one hand, he's pointing him out like this guy should be like red flagged. And then at the exact same time, he's creating enough chaos where this guy's going to come over and try to stop me.
Right.
And I can slip my knife that I just took out of my pocket up my sleeve and tap it into this guy's pocket.
Right. Yeah, just
knowing
Intelligence
that
bonus.
How
that
it's gonna play
Sophia is so impulsive too to whoever she would catch with the knife she wouldn't even take him in for questioning or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
right.
Oh, actually, that's
She knows
another
that she would be
episode 1.
impulsive enough to just be like, all right, like fucking kill this motherfucker right on the spot.
Yeah, so enraged.
That was an awesome scene. That was the first episode. She goes and finds another one of the carjackers. Remember?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's how like the torture thing starts. Oz is like, "You're gonna take my word over his or whatever," and she's like, "I should believe you," and she just shoots the kid point blank right in the
Yeah,
fucking
right,
head.
yeah.
Dude. That was another scene where I was like, "Okay, now I'm watching a show that I'm interested in."
Yeah.
The Batman, we couldn't kill anybody. Like the Penguin's car flips like 17 and a half times. He's completely fine.
It's part of his thing. It's
I
part of his
don't-
bag.
I don't
baby.
kill anybody.
He doesn't kill anybody.
I talk like Christian Bale, but I don't fight like him. And I fucking love. You know how much it sucks for me?
It's
I
his MO.
fucking love Rob Pattinson.
I don't think
And
it
I have
sucks
to
for you.
fucking. Oh my god.
I think you get off on this whole thing.
I don't get off on this entire thing. I don't. Just like if you want to be dark, you got to be dark. That means Batman's gonna do some dark shit.
Except kill anybody because he never kills anybody.
Faggot.
Anything ever. That's his whole thing.
Let's see. Is there anything else I wanted to mention from 3? Oh, well, 3 is when we actually start getting the pick and
Three's the
roll going.
Yeah.
It's a big Vic episode, which we kind of already hinted on. I didn't care too much about the Vic stuff, but
But you needed something.
Right.
yeah, a little background.
Fill in the blanks.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not-
And it's not just him coming in out of nowhere just to, here I come to save the day, just driving his fucking car in. Like,
Right.
I like the whole build up to that point where, like, while this is going on, he's also debating, do I just get out of town or do I stay?
Yep.
I think even though it's a big time Vic episode with the flashbacks, I think it's a big time Sophia episode.
Yeah.
I think the
whole thing is.
I think she sees how Oz plays his game as far
Yeah.
as like saying whatever he needs to say, and she picks up on it. And it doesn't seem like she necessarily like likes it, but she's like, okay, like I can play too. And they run that give and go with like the triads, and it's fucking beautiful. Like it's fucking boom, boom, boom. She's great. Like that final sales pitch that she gives to like the head of the triads is fantastic.
Yeah, I'll just find somebody else if you don't want my shit.
And
like you're just gonna be the last one.
that's a good. Yep. No. It's either I don't care about like the supplier. It's gonna be you then.
Yeah.
And then when she walks past Oz, she goes, make the deal or not. I'll be outside.
Yeah, right.
That's a good one
exactly.
too. That was a good one too.
And then I also didn't expect like Oz to get caught in the middle of it that soon. So at the end,
Maroney
at the
Falcone?
end when the Maronis pull up and they're like, I wasn't expecting them to get busted that early.
No.
Right.
Especially because it felt like a very pivotal conversation.
Yeah.
Like I said, they had just been working together so well in this episode. So there was like and in that, though, they still hinted at the fact that he had fucked her over and she was having a hard time forgiving that. Because that's actually, right before the Maronis show up, she says, how can we like move forward and how can I trust you? And then obviously the Maronis show up and then he goes like, yo, leave her here. So just spits in the face of that right away. That relationship, like before I think even it really starts to flutter, is going to be sniffed out now. Like I said, they ran that perfect give and go, but now,
Yep.
Yeah. I
now
mean,
they're going to be at total odds.
we'll get to the mid-season trailer, but it seems like
I
she's.
didn't get to watch it.
Oh, really? You sent it to me at like noon today.
Yeah, I know.
It's a minute and a half.
I thought it was homework, like leading up.
So
It's a minute and a half.
I'm not used to working like a real day anymore. Like, I don't really like work a real job.
You can still work a real job and watch the
You
video.
don't take a shit all day? Come on.
I don't know how to do this anymore. I don't know how to do it. I was there from like fucking
PBC
9 to
a
3.
workshop.
Yeah.
I just sprinted out of there. I don't know how to do
Well, it seems like she's hunting him down the rest of the
Oh,
season.
yeah.
Okay.
She's like,
That makes
this
sense.
guy, we're going to hunt him down. There's still a chance that they will have common goals or whatever, and they won't. But
Nah.
yeah,
Not after that.
she's on a fucking revenge
Yeah.
spree.
Yep. Between that and episode 4, there's no they're working together.
Yeah, so let's get to the last episode. Episode 3, Big Vic episode. Episode 4, Big Sophia episode. We're going to do a ton of flashbacks. A lot of her in Arkham. And we're going to more so see how she got to Arkham, which I think the big thing, at least for me, was the conversation with her dad where he was like, I want you to run things.
Right.
So that was initially how things were supposed to go, was she was supposed to be head of the family.
Yeah.
Like a day before he fucking put her in Arkham.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it sucks too. They had to recast Karma, John Torturo.
John Turturro.
They said like scheduling conflicts is why he couldn't do it. I think this guy Howard Stark.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure,
he's Tony
right?
Stark's dad. Yeah.
Good catch.
But yeah, I mean, small little thing, but he still did a good job. It's not anything against him.
Well, we're shouting out people real quick, actually, now that I think about it. Shout out Emma Caulfield and Agatha. She came back. She was in WandaVision, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Anyanka, which I'm currently watching right now. And then in the Penguin, shout out to one of my least favorite characters in the history of television. We got Theo Rossi from Sons of Anarchy. Good old Juice.
I gotta be honest. I think he's got a bigger role going forward too. Not just in
You think
this.
so?
I think in the Batverse, the whole Batverse too. He might.
The whole Batverse.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What's his name? I don't know what he looks like.
Theo Rossi is his real name. He's Juice Ortega in Sons of
Oh,
Anarchy.
yeah, the psychiatrist guy.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So in Batman in the comics, there's Hugo Strange, Dr. Hugo Strange, which
I know that name.
fits the
I
same
know
role as
that
what he's
name.
doing, where he was a psychiatrist in Gotham, like using medication on patients, like
Shock
kind of
therapy.
driving them crazy.
Yeah.
And then I don't think it fits this universe, but also Jonathan Crane, who was the Scarecrow, was doing the same thing, but he uses more like gas medication and things like that. But this guy kind of fits the mold of Hugo Strange, and he had multiple like aliases in the comics. So like his real name is Hugo Strange, but he also, before that was known as not whatever his name is in this, but he might have a bigger role going forward.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely the second most important character in all these flashbacks.
Yep.
unless you want to say like her next door neighbor cellmate or something.
Magpie?
But, yeah, Magpie. But she didn't last long either.
No. Yeah, no. We saw a little bit more from like her. We saw that Alberto has some humanity in him because the scenes that we saw him from the opening, he was a complete cunt.
Right.
We see how much of a piece of shit Carmine is too, to the fact that like we said,
Dude,
like,
the fact
Definitely
that he
killed
was-
his wife, right?
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah, guaranteed.
absolutely
Yeah.
killed his wife.
And one of the seven other women that he got killed was Selena Kyle's mom, who was
the
Catwoman.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to mention
Alright.
at the beginning that
Did not notice that, but now
was
that you
one
say
of
the name, I know
that was one of the big
name.
reveals from the Batman was that Selena Kyle
Yeah.
is a illegitimate daughter of Carmine.
Don't worry, I got 9 more lives. And it was in that moment that I got up and I was like, I'm going to go get another beer at the concession stand because I do not need to be watching this. You know what didn't help that movie at all? No. This has nothing to do with the movie. This has nothing to do with the movie, and you can remember this too. You know what did not help that movie at
Drinking
all?
beers and having a pee.
It was, when I say 2 billion fucking degrees in that theater, it was... Dude,
It's not Batman's fault.
That must have been why.
No, but
That
it
must
like
have been
it
why you
didn't
didn't
help.
like it.
I remember like sitting there like actually like sweating like in my seat like yo, this is fucking bullshit. That used to be one of the things about like going to the movie theater. Like you
They got
get
AC?
your popcorn and you get your AC in the summertime. You can't afford AC. You come to the movies. You give us $12. You get AC for 2 hours. Fucking 100 million fucking degrees in that theater.
Oof.
I wasn't the only one though. Phil fell asleep. He hated it too.
Yeah, the heat made him tired.
He made it tired.
He's weak.
Yeah, it was the heat.
We talked about Magpie a little. That was a good scene when she fucking finally caves in her goddamn head.
Right.
But it was cool to just watch Sophia's like character go from. It felt like she was like born into it. Like she almost didn't have a choice. Like she was born into the mafia life, but she wasn't like a cold-hearted like fucking like she was smart. Like she had a sense of business and how to make money and work with other families and shit like that. And then you see
So she double crossed the boss.
right. You see the spiral into like madness, kind of.
And even to the point where she thought her family was good. She didn't really even know
Oh, yeah.
the like depth of what they
They
were
had the
doing.
fundraiser, right, for
Right.
her mom and everything.
Actually, it's a great point. So that's actually they talked about it on that Inside the Episode shit. That's the reason that they start off there is to show her view of the world, basically. That like things aren't all bad and all violent, even though she is in the mafia family. Like there is still innocence and good and happiness and helping people and all that shit.
So my question is, one of the things I had was in terms of like timeline. Is it seems like while Carmine is alive, she's in Arkham, like while he's paying the police, the government. So how does she get out of Gotham? I don't think she escapes Arkham.
I don't think so.
So-
either.
Is it after Carmine gets assassinated by the Riddler in the Batman? Is that how she gets out, or?
That's my understanding is that he was the one keeping her there. And then now that Alberto was in charge for a
So
week.
it must have been after he died then,
He's
right?
like, yeah. So he gets her out immediately.
Okay.
Yep.
Which
I was
makes
trying to think
sense.
timeline wise and because she had to have been in Arkham the whole time that Carmine was.
The
10 years.
psychiatrist
10 years.
insinuates that he kind of helped get her out too. So maybe Alberto and the psychiatrist worked together. But yeah, it was because Carmine finally died and stopped
Yeah.
keeping her there.
Right.
And then they were able to
Which make
different instructions to the people that were keeping her there, basically.
In episode 4, they show the scene where Alberto goes to visit her, and he's like, what do you want me to do?
I love
will
this.
go
The
do that."
same setup as how it was in the Batman too. Like when the Batman's talking to the Riddler. Like
Yeah.
that same
Yeah,
setup in the
They
prison.
use the same one.
Yeah.
They use the same one.
Yep.
Yeah. Which fucking Arkham is just like a... Like, that's actually another thing they talked about, like, on Inside the Episode. It was Kristen Melody. She was saying how, like, the extras have to feel real. So, like, when they're filming that scene over and over again, she's like, these girls that are acting, not the extras, but you know what I'm talking about. They're trying to appear crazy all the time, but they're doing, like, different things. So she's like, there's that one that, like, bumps into her, and she's like, I didn't know she's bumping into me. Like, she's just acting crazy, you know what I mean? So, like, her reaction to the bump is genuine because she doesn't know that that's coming. She was like, it was like she was in the. Have you watched those? They're just like the Game of Thrones ones.
I just watched the episode 4 one right before I got here.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, she was like pumped about the aura and like the vibe
Right.
in the room because of how excellent all those extras were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the one that wasn't chained up that beat the shit out of her at first, and then
Yeah.
when they put him in the cafeteria, like that one was, you could tell like that one was a fucking
crazy.
whack job. Yeah.
Yeah. But it seems like they assigned a different disorder to every single extra, and they're like, all right, you act like this, you act like that, and you are this person for the day.
Yeah.
And, yep. Fill the room with your craziness.
Yep.
Yeah. Fill the room is the line that Oz keeps saying. That's one that I keep noticing
take up space.
too. Take up space.
I like that.
Take up space.
That's good advice in general. Like,
No, absolutely.
Like, if you're trying to stand out,
it
it's
absolutely
just like how you
is.
It ain't
stand
talking
and-
being fat.
Yeah, right.
Take up space.
It's like at the end of the day, like it's different, but like at the end of the day, the mafia is still like a business. Like they're there, they're trying to make money. So like when you say that, like it is like it's the same thing as if you're fucking selling cars.
Especially, like I said, especially now when Gotham basically resets and there's so much for the taking.
yeah,
You know, like the streets are open right now. You know?
Especially by the end of this
Open
episode.
for biz.
Yeah.
yeah. We got Paul Dano in his worst role ever, but yeah, no.
Oh, God.
What? What happened? What happened? We said something.
You should watch it again because I
Yeah,
loved it.
for real.
Bro,
I loved it.
I've been trying to talk
like-
myself into watching that shit for like 4 years at this point. I cannot fucking do it.
There's no point.
Oh my god.
There's no
My worst fear is that I rewatch it. I'm like, oh well, that was pretty good.
You wouldn't even admit it. You
Well,
wouldn't
at
even have
least
the
like the
balls
Penguin.
to admit it.
I would.
You wouldn't have the balls.
We already
to
talked about
admit
Haley
it.
Seinfeld earlier. I would. I would just. I
Haley
can't.
Seinfeld compared to this. You've been riding this for the last 10 years. Jesus Christ.
Since Nam.
It's bigger than
For
Haley
as long as
Seinfeld.
Sophia's been in fucking Arkham, I've been saying the Batman stinks. Oh shit. But this episode, I mean not this episode, but this show, like, kind of like we said off the top, it is the Sunday night slot on HBO.
You can see why HBO was like, oh, we got to get this in the Sunday slot
Yeah.
right now.
Like we said, it's not just good if you like Batman or if you like comic book. Like
You don't have
this
to.
is something that genuinely anybody can get. Andor.
Yeah, right.
Andor.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Yeah.
a
Bigger picture, you don't have
You
to
just
be
like
invested.
espionage, spy
just
shit.
get rid of the Jedi.
Yep.
Or get rid of the frickin' Batman.
Yeah.
Right.
And
You
then,
don't
yeah,
even know what the Death Star is,
Right.
but you can still be invested.
Yeah.
But while we're still seeing this crazy penguin criminal become who he's gonna be, we're gonna get some crazy.
So you said you watched the rest of the season thing, right?
Yes.
Am I crazy to say that like Batman or Bruce Wayne is like first scene the person riding the bike?
I hope so. There's
Is that
someone in a
not-
mask.
Is that not Bruce Wayne?
Right. Maybe
Or
it's
Batman?
early. No.
He's riding the same bike when he's leaving the movie.
Right, but he's got some weird like Iron Man mask helmet thing on, right? Like, it's.
I don't know. I remember
I hope it is. I would love Batman in it.
I remember the Batman on a bike leaving. They're both going their separate ways. Him and Selena Kyle.
Yeah, I mean that's what they're trying to make us think. I hope it is. You don't want Batman to come in yet?
Oh my god, that ending's so bad. It's so gay.
No, it's not.
Oh my god, it's so bad. That movie's so lame. Oh my
it's
god, that
exactly how
movie
it
is
should be.
so freaking lame, dude. Ugh. No, I don't want that in there. I want this show to stay exactly like what it is now. Like I want it to stay like grounded. Like I want to just see Oz become Oz or the
With
Penguin.
no tie into the Batverse or whatever
Yes.
this Batverse is.
I want to see just him, the Falcones, and the Maronis. That's where I want to see. I want to see what happens to Sophia in the end. I want to see Oz obviously take control of the Empire and like just go forward. I love that this show is violent. I love this show curses. I love that this show like it's genuine. Like it doesn't give a fuck about it being a comic book movie.
Just stand alone as its thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then like you
okay
have
with that, but-
an awesome character that people are gonna look forward to seeing in the next Batman movie. People are gonna want to go see Colin Farrell's fucking Penguin.
Yeah, sure.
And he is. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Kristen Melody is fantastic, but Colin Farrell, man,
They
It is
both are. That's-
crazy.
They are,
His
yeah.
transformation though.
you like
Got this
which-
freaking Scottish guy doing like
yeah, yeah, like almost like a New Yorkie mob fucking accent.
Yep.
But the makeup team too, man. You want to talk about winning awards? We were talking about Oscars before the show started. The makeup team for the show should win every single fucking Emmy that you can possibly win.
Oh, yeah.
He's unrecognizable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and totally believable. It's-
Totally.
They were on the official podcast. They were talking about how they were between him and someone else to play the Penguin in the movie, and that they weren't really sure how they were going to make him look, and then their costume guy came up with this full-sized model of how he wanted it to be, and they're like let's try it. And Colin Farrell wasn't totally bought in either until he put on the makeup, and he was just like, I need this fucking role.
Oh, that's
and,
awesome.
They said that he recorded like a self camera of him in the makeup, and that was what they showed to HBO to get them to agree to make Colin Farrell look like not Colin Farrell, because you're paying him Colin Farrell money, but he's clearly not.
You would
Colin
have
Farrell.
no idea it is. Yeah, you would have no idea it is.
And but that everybody just agreed it was awesome, immersive, and like perfect for who he was. So.
I've talked about Nicolas Cage on the show a few times and how I never liked him for a while, and I came around on him. Colin Farrell's the same way. He's not like actually like I actually like Nicolas Cage a little bit more, but Colin Farrell was the same thing. I never ever liked Colin Farrell, but now he's definitely grown on me over the last 10-ish years, I would say, something like that.
Yeah,
I definitely feel like I don't know, man. Obviously, I look at movies a lot differently, but even when I was younger, I remember like watching his movies and being like, this guy is not good. Like he's objectively
like
bad.
Phone Booth and
Phone was a great movie. Actually, that's one of the roles that I actually would probably prefer him in.
but he's not.
But like
good.
him as Bullseye is fucking terrible. Him in SWAT is fucking terrible. It's like it's a fun movie. Like if it's on TNT and you're in a hotel room and SWAT's on, you're like, oh cool, LL Cool J, Samuel L. Jackson, Colin Farrell, Michelle Rodriguez, let's have some fun. But like he's not like good in the movie. He was fucking he was Alexander. That movie sucked.
Yeah.
And he was terrible in the movie.
Yeah.
But he's had the last 10 years or so, he's had a good bounce back. I've turned my cheek on Colin Farrell. I like him. I'm a fan now. But I think this role's been fucking fantastic for him. Even in the Batman, that was the best part, was him. I thought, at least, in my opinion, he was the best part.
They also said it was very freeing for him to have this full mask on, where he's not Colin Farrell playing the Penguin. He just is the Penguin. You know, he's behind the mask of the costume and
right. I get what you're saying.
Able to fully just dive into it.
Altered face, but it's still like him.
Yep. And even the first day that he was in makeup, they didn't tell anybody that it was Colin Farrell. They're like, this is the Penguin, and nobody called him out for having makeup on or anything. He went to Starbucks, got a coffee, like was just a person among the public. And,
I mean, I believe it. I do believe it, because you watch this and you're like that. You don't see him, you don't hear him. Like, it's very, very, very impressive what they're able to do with him and this character, I guess.
Yeah, even with some of the kind of like crazy stuff, like I don't know, his walk is very. You know, like they're trying to make him look like he's walking like a penguin. You know, like it's a little much, but it all adds up by the end of it. You believe it.
So like that's kind of the thing. Like as far as like the Matt Reeves universe, it's supposed to be like darker and more grounded, and I think more realistic. So like I think that his like, for instance, why I love the show. Like I think his waddle works. Like they show like whatever you want to call it, his leg piece that helps him walk, that keeps his foot steady.
Yep.
Like it's very much grounded,
and
like
his foot all curled up and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not Danny DeVito literally looking like a penguin, like, you know, hobbling around.
Right.
Like it's
Well,
very
eating
much
raw fish and shit. Like,
right. It's very much grounded in reality. And then like the Batman movie was the same thing. My problem with the Batman movie was, like we already said it, like it if you want to do that, then you have to do that. It's like you gotta go all the way fucking in.
Yep.
It just didn't. It didn't do it. Just didn't do it.
Couldn't help but notice
show is doing.
Couldn't help but notice you were talking about the Batman movie while I was going to take a leak.
You know, it's all the same. I'm just happy that this show is as good as it is, and I fucking love it, and it deserves to win a ton of Emmys. Between Farrell and Melody and the makeup team, and Victor's great. Everyone's great in this show, and I cannot wait to see these final 4 episodes. I can't wait to see how it ends. I don't really know how it's gonna end. Like I hope
We didn't even talk about too how she just wipes out her whole entire family at the end of.
So that's our end point.
Yeah, I think we'll roll up to it.
Wipes out the entire.
That was
family.
wild.
Yeah, that's our end point.
Except for
Vidi,
for-
because we need him.
so she can frame him or what?
Put your pants on.
Yeah, right. It's time to go to work.
To go to work.
Punch in, bitch.
Put your pants on.
So like he wakes up at gunpoint and like his window's open. It's just like, yo, like I need you, and it's just like, okay. this sucks. And then he gets outside of his room, and it's just like literally dead.
The whole
people,
fucking
literally
family's-
in
the whole
entire
fucking
house. Like,
family's
he's just walking
dead.
down the hallway so they can go talk and
Like
just,
stepping over him.
Yeah, for real. It's fucking wild.
Yeah,
It's fucking
And
wild.
Just the way that they led up to it too. Like I had no idea
I
what
had
she was
no
doing with the
fucking
with
idea,
her niece
bro.
or whatever. Like,
No fucking
like is she
idea,
gonna go
dude.
crazy with the niece? What? Like that doesn't sound.
And now too, like she has so much money, and there's so many like underground people that think of like the army that she could have on her side, and that's what it seems like in the trailer too. She basically tells people like, if you're on my side, you'll make more money than you can ever imagine. Like,
right,
She's
she's
got
also
the
filling
entire
that
Falcon
power
Circle.
void.
there's just she has so much money and so many people that can be on her side that like, she could have
bigger
a whole
power
army.
void. Like it's now it's like it
It's
was
not just the
kind of
family.
wide open. Now it's totally wide.
Yeah.
open.
And she has the best claim to all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, like, I guess I would say like we got one really, 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 really good show, and then a show that's beyond expectations so far. So
Yeah.
I really have, aside from the first episode of Agatha, I don't really have much bad things to say about either of these two shows.
Yeah.
No.
I agree. Very enjoyable. I'd say Penguin's still like a 9.5 and Agatha's still a
Totally different.
6.5.
Yeah,
but
it's
yeah.
different.
Yeah.
So like to me, like right now, like depending on how it ends, like right now, for me, right now, I'd say Agatha's floating around like a C+. But if Agatha like nails the fucking ending, depending on how good it is, we're talking B,
Yeah.
B+. Like I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
When your expectations were F or NA because you
Yeah.
weren't even gonna finish
Right.
it, and it started off like I said, I was the same way. Of just first episode, I was like, oh man, like this is how it's gonna be. I'm out.
Yeah. Like
I'm out.
legitimately like out. I don't think I'm going to be able to sit through
For
8 more
25
episodes.
minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the bare minimum.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything else you want to mention before we wrap?
Nothing too crazy. I am interested in Oz's mother. I think she's got some more storyline to go here.
I think so.
Mamas.
Yeah, Mama Oz.
I think so.
She, weird combo of losing her shit and being like the North Star for Oz at the same time. Like,
See, like that, I think ends with Oz killing her.
ooh, a pity death. All
Uh,
right, she's
I
a
think,
liability
Like a
Yeah, I
pillow
think
because
like-
she knows everything, right?
I think
And
so.
cannot be trusted to be mentally sound.
Yes. Yeah.
He tells her everything. Seems like.
There has to be at least one of his mom, Victor, and his like alibi from the first episode. Like, not everybody's getting out of it
Right.
alive, and it's gonna be him that has to do it.
That
Right?
was another thing from the mid-season trailer. Like they're gonna
she's more involved.
they're gonna go after the people that he cares about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's obviously the only person he cares about other than Vic.
Isn't that
His sugar mama.
Yeah,
Jesus
this blonde bad bitch.
No, it's a different girl. Never mind. Yeah, I could see her being a bigger character though. They've already kind of shown a little sparks of that here and there.
Yeah. And we'll see how Oz is able to handle this because he does not have anybody on his side. You know, he's really just a one-man
Aside from
show.
Victor, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Who
Victor's it.
is just a 18-year-old, kind of not even all the way in. Maybe he is now, but
And you still got the Salvatore Maroni. Like he's still
That's true.
He's
Yeah,
still in
yeah,
jail,
yeah,
too,
yeah.
so, like-
that's true. Well, that Maroney wife, she's
theoretically-
a bad bitch.
yeah. Like
she's really
bad
in charge,
bitch.
theoretically, you could have Sophia. You could have the Falcones and the Maronis teaming up to take down Penguin because he's obviously a traitor on both sides.
right? Yeah.
So interested to see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm very excited to get to the last 4 episodes in. So we got 4 episodes left of Penguin, and then we have yesterday was 6th for Agatha. Then we have 7, and then 8, 9 are together. Either way, we're going to be coming back to do these. We're going to be doing them together. So Penguin finale going to be on a Sunday. We'll probably be back with you guys, like the Tuesday or Wednesday following the Penguin finale, and we'll do final season reviews for both shows. That's all I got. I don't think I got anything else. We kind of quickly mentioned the ending, but that was awesome. Her killing everybody.
Yeah, and we'll see how she's able to. Obviously, she has some plan. I don't think she's gonna frame Johnny Vitti, but maybe that's why she kept him alive. I don't know.
Probably still
She's
needs
gonna
some
get out of this.
triads in some way, hopefully.
I don't know if she's gonna convince everyone that the only survivor of this house party was not the killer.
Yeah,
but
that's good.
we'll see.
Viti's just gonna be somebody that he's in this like a pawn up until she doesn't need him anymore.
Right.
Like, in The Dark Knight, like the Asian guy that was like the banker or whatever. And then as soon as he got the money, he fucking lit him on fire.
Oh,
And he
yes.
just piled the
Yeah.
money. Like, that's how this guy
yes,
is.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
He's just being used up until she doesn't need him anymore. And then he's toast.
Right.
Yeah.
It's commodity.
Probably. I think, like I said, I think that's gonna be the final straw that, like, because they've been not hinting, but Oz is kind of like still likable even though he's a bad guy. I think his mom's gonna be like the final straw that like pushes him over the edge. Like he has to kill her, and he goes like full bad guy.
Right.
Fully.
Let us hate him the full way. Yeah.
Exactly. Or it could be Sofia Falcone too, obviously, because the audience is getting very attached to her, and
Right.
who knows how long her.
Yeah, that was a full
longevity is.
sympathy episode 4. Like she was wrongly imprisoned and tortured and fucked up
on by everybody in her family.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, anything else? We're good.
I think we're good.
Good stuff.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are enjoying both shows. Like we said, we'll be back for the end season reviews for both shows. We're going to be back for a couple of other things along the way. I know last week I said that I was slowing down. That was a complete and utter lie, apparently. I had like 15
Show goes
shows.
on.
Yeah,
Lie to
yeah,
yourself.
yeah. So I'll be talking to you guys at least once next week, possibly twice, depending on how things go. But we will see. In the meantime, happy watching. As always, we'll talk to you guys again soon.
That's it.